Hello guys, and welcome back to another video of playing Minecraft. And today we have some visitors in our world. I'm kind of scared that these guys are gonna kill me. I don't have any armor right now, but I'm gonna try to kill them. Alright. Oh, okay. That was the first mob we killed, which I can't believe that. Oh no. Okay. We don't really have a use for killing these guys. Oh no. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Oh, okay, that was our first death. I can't believe I died to that single pillager, and he's so close to dying too. But I think that that is definitely a sign that we're gonna need to get some armor today. So, along with finishing decorating the house, we will definitely be needing some armor. So, we actually have enough iron to make a little bit of iron armor right now. So, let's go ahead and make myself a chest plate. Perfect. And we're definitely gonna have to go back down into the caves later to get some armor, which I think is the perfect thing to start off the episode with because we want to decorate our house today and we're gonna need some armor to get all the things that I want to put inside of the house. So let's go head down into that cave and try and get some iron armor. Alright, and let's make some torches because last time I went in that cave it was super dark. So we're definitely gonna need torches. And I think we're all ready, so let's shut the door behind us and head down into this cave. So in the last video, I went down this cave a little bit, but it was huge, and I was definitely not prepared to go all the way down to the bottom of it, so I just kind of left it. But today, hopefully we can make it all the way down, and maybe we could even find some diamonds inside. So let's head down and see what kind of things we can find. Which, yeah, I'm already starting to see some mobs. There were a bunch of mobs last time I came down this cave. Hopefully I don't die again. Dying twice in one video would be super sad. Alright, and also need to make sure to keep an eye out for some iron. I see some right there, but I don't really have a way to get to it right now, so I'll just leave it for now. Oh, but here's some already. Only one piece though. So for today, I think that we should definitely explore the area a little bit. We're gonna need some blocks to decorate the house with because I really don't have too much right now. I'm also gonna need a way to get some food, so maybe we should start on a farm because I only have that bread that I stole from the village, which is going to run out eventually, so we definitely need a better way of getting food on our own. Oh my, okay, wow. I definitely need to make myself a shield also because there are a lot of things trying to kill me. I see diamonds right there. Okay. And oh, I forgot we saw that amethyst cluster last time as well. I don't have silk touch right now, so I can't get the actual clusters from it, but we can definitely grab these diamonds. Alright, 4 diamonds is not too bad for a start. We'll have to decide what we want to craft with the diamonds. I could try and make a diamond pick and go to the nether, but I'm not really sure I'm ready to go to the nether right now because I do not have any armor whatsoever. And I'm kind of want to take things kind of slow with this world because I'm not in a rush to like beat the game or anything. And as you may have already been able to tell that I'm not very good at PvP, so I definitely need to get really geared up before I go to the nether or anything. Alright, I got 36 iron, which should be plenty, enough for me to finish my armor set and make a couple of iron tools, so I think I'm ready to leave this cave for now. We can always come back to it. It's pretty big, and we'll definitely need to come back to get that amethyst later, because that's an interesting block to build with. Alright, now that we are out of the cave, let's smelt my armor up and figure out how we should decorate the house. Alright, so let's just throw our iron in the furnace, and I actually used all of my coal to get torches, so I'm just gonna use some wood to smelt it. I made a bunch of slabs last time, so we should have plenty of wood, but speaking of wood, we're also definitely gonna need to cut down these extra trees that I planted last time, so let's do that quickly while this smelts. Alright, so I've cut down all the trees and our iron should be done smelting in here. Most we need a little bit more fuel for it. So while that's cooking, let's make the rest of our armor. Alright, perfect. This will definitely, hopefully, help me stay alive for longer. And we should probably also make a shield. Okay, perfect. So now for what I actually want to do in here. I think for the flooring, we should do some oak. So let's first do that. I think I have one oak sapling in here, so let's just plant that, I guess, and wait for it to grow. And then we can explore the area a bit and see what other things might be good to put inside of our house. Alright, so on top of this hill, there are a bunch of animals, and I think that would be perfect for our farm because we're gonna need a food source other than this bread because it is eventually going to run out. So I think that we should grow some wheat and stuff so that we can try and get some cows and sheeps and stuff into some pens. So quickly, let's just build a little pen for these animals to go in. I think we should put the animal pens over in this area because I don't want to hear all of the animals from my house, so let's quickly just build two small pens for them. Oh, look, there's a wandering trader coming in. Actually, it might be good to kill him for his leads, and he's not really selling anything I need, so alright, hopefully the llamas won't mind. Hopefully they can just hang out. Yeah, now we have two pet llamas that we can also keep, so let's quickly just build these pens. Alright, so I made two pens. I think we should put sheep in this one and then cows in that one, and we can use these new leads that we somehow got and use them to drag the cows over without having to make some wheat, because we don't actually have any kind of farm right now, so let's grab two cows. I see one here, and then here is another one. And let's bring them over to their pen. All right, and now that these two are in here, uh-oh, he's trying to escape. Stay. You have to stay in here. Oh no. Hopefully they'll actually stay in here. And then we'll make an entrance into there later. And then let's go grab some sheep. Alright, so we have one sheep, and then let's grab another sheep here. And let's bring these two back to their pen. Alright, and then really quick, I'm going to grab our two new llamas because I think it might be cool to have some llamas in our area. And I actually don't know where these spawn naturally, so it's good that these two have showed up. I'm just gonna tie them up to this fence for now because I don't really have a place for them to go yet. So hopefully they'll be fine out here, and I'm going to sleep and then we can get started with my plans for the inside. So my oak tree still hasn't grown, which is okay because I do have some other things that I want to collect for the house. So the first thing I want to get is we're going to need some sheep's wool to make some carpeting. And then I'm also going to need some leather to make a set of leather armor, and then I'm going to use some dye to dye it some fun colors. So we can use both of our two new farms to get that done. So quickly, I'm just going to grab my pair of shears and we will get started on collecting those materials. And just so that I don't have to keep breaking this fence, I'm going to make some carpet, and then I can jump on the carpet to get in and out, but the animals won't be able to escape. And since I don't have any wheat right now, I will leave these cows in here alone. Oh my gosh, there's even more pillagers. I've never seen pillagers spawn together so quickly. Okay, well hopefully now that I have some armor, they won't kill us this time, so let's go for round 2 against these pillagers, and then I guess we have a second pillager banner to decorate our house with, although I didn't really want that because I don't really think that's the vibe of the house I'm going for, but I'm sure we can use it for something. So in order to get this leather, there are some horses up here, and I'm just going to cut the camera and okay, and now there's no more horses, so we can go find something else that will magically give us leather and keep doing this. So we need 24 pieces to collect a full set of armor, so I'm just gonna go around to cows and horses and ask them to give us some leather. So as you can see, I've gotten all the leather that I need, and I'm just going to head back over to my house. I did go kind of far away, but my house is literally just right over there, so I will see you once we're back over there, and hopefully our tree will have grown, but if not, there's plenty of trees that we can harvest over here, so it's not too big of a deal. I've made it back, and somehow this tree still has not grown, so I'm gonna have to go out and get some other oak trees, which is fine because I'm pretty much surrounded by them. There's a whole forest of them over there, so let's go grab some oak wood for our flooring. Alright, now that we have actual flooring in here, I think that we can start to rearrange some of the items. So I want to have a bedroom area, a kitchen area, and then maybe just like a area for all of my chest storage and other things. So I think the kitchen could be maybe right over here. So let's move our furnace over there. Oh, and I also had the rest of my iron in there. So let's throw the furnace down right there. And then I think maybe the bedroom could be right over here, and then we can have a bunch of chests right over here. So let's start with the kitchen. I think that we should use some barrels and slabs to kind of make some counters, and then we can use barrels for storage over here. So let's try placing down a couple of those things and see how it looks. This is how the kitchen's looking right now. We don't have too many blocks to place for decoration. I'm sure as I collect more things, I'll have more stuff to put in here, but I used this brewing stand that we found from the village and then some barrels to line the kitchen, and I think we're ready to move on to the bed area. So right now we already have this yellow bed, which works perfectly fine, but I think it's time for an upgrade. So I'm gonna go take my shears and go over to the special pink sheep that lives right on top of this hill. All right, and then we'll just shear the pink sheep, and we almost got enough wool, so I'm just going to wait here for it to regrow its wool, and then we can go back to the house and make ourselves a nice pink bed. All right, now that we've got all of the wool that we need, we can quickly craft ourselves a nice pink bed. And that just matches the room much better, I think. So let's quickly decorate this area a little bit. Alright, so I just added a little trapdoor onto my bed, and then of course made my cat from the last episode its own bed. So I think that the bedroom area can be mostly done for now, and then we're gonna need some storage. So let's add a couple of chests back here. Alright, so I added in a bunch of chests right here, and then later I will store all of my things into the chests. But for now, I think that we should go on to adding a couple of more things because it is looking a little bit empty in here. So first, we need to do something with this leather we collected. So I want to make two armor stands, and we could put them right here and right here. So for that, we're going to need some smooth stones. So we're going to need to smelt a little bit of this cobblestone in our furnace over here. And then while that's smelting, I'm going to craft our armor. Alright, and the armor would look nice on the armor stand just as is, but I think it would be a little bit nicer if we dyed it. So I think we should make this a nice light pink color to match the rest of the house. So we're going to need to go out and collect some flowers. Alright, so let's go quickly get some flowers. We just need some red ones and some white ones, and there are some monsters out here that I'm going to try and avoid. So there's a red one right here, and there's quite a bunch of red ones over there. We probably don't need too many. We probably actually only need 4 red flowers, and we're going to need more white flowers because we do want this armor to be on the lighter side. And I think I saw some white flowers over there, so we can quickly go grab some. Alright, so I found the Lily of the Valleys right over here. I grabbed a couple extra just because they're pretty, so I think we could put some in flower pots or put a couple outside of our house if we don't use all of them for the armor. So let's get home and dye this armor. Alright, so to dye this armor, let's make some pink dye quickly. Alright, and then I'm just going to dye all of this armor pink. And I think it would be cool if we used this leftover white to make some white dye, and then we could do a gradient. So we could have the top hat be the darkest, and then everything get a little bit lighter as it goes down. Alright, so I've dyed the armor, and then we just need to finish this stone smelting, and then we can make our armor stands. Alright, so let's just pop them right here and here, and then we will decorate this one with the armor we just made, and I think it looks great with the house. And then hopefully for this armor stand we can get a cooler pair, maybe nicer armor than just leather from our adventures to throw on that armor stand. And then let's clear out all this stuff from the middle of the room. So let me just sort these chests quickly into those, and I'll be right back. Right, so I've sorted all the chests. I added on some signs and filled up as many chests as I could, and I'm not gonna lie, it's still looking a little bit ugly in here. So I think this place desperately needs some windows. So let's just make some holes in the walls where we can. I think 2 windows on both sides right here would be really nice. So let's go grab some glass so that we can have some windows right there. And while I'm over here collecting sand, I'm also going to collect some clay so that we can make flower pots and things. Alright, so I'm going to cook this glass, and then I'm also going to cook the clay into bricks so that we can make some flower pots and use some of the pretty flowers that we have all around us. But while we wait for all of this to smell, I want to add a rug in the center of here because it is a little bit empty, and I think that it would be cute if we used some of our pink dye from before. Then we can go out and dye one of these sheep pink, and we could use their wool to make a little checkerboard pink and white rug inside. So I'll be shearing them to get that wool while all of this smelts, and then we should be able to get all of this finally pulled together. Right, so I've added in all of the decorations to the house and it's looking much better in here. Obviously, it's not done and I'm sure I'll get many more things to decorate it with as I keep playing. But I added in a little lantern, I added in a bunch of flowers from around the area in here, and I'm super happy with how it's looking and I'm super excited to keep playing some more. So if you guys enjoy this content, please leave a like and leave a comment of a suggestion of what else you'd like to see me do, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!